So today we're going over my entire Leon the Professional collection, and I want to show this off. This is the newest addition to the collection. This is a 30th anniversary special edition out of France. So this one comes out of the company Fnac, and I have ordered some stuff from them before. So this was the first time that I ordered from them directly, and I came across this by accident. I was actually looking for some other stuff that might have been on that website, and I came across this amazing set. And this includes the soundtrack version of that I already have. So it does come with a 4K steelbook. It comes with a giant book, and it looks like a mini print or poster the size of the album. So that's all the stuff that it comes with. And because it's from France, most of the stuff's going to be in French, I believe. But to have this limited edition, special edition collector's piece, it's just one of the holy grails that I had wanted to grab, and it's not the only one. There's several that I'm still missing. Specifically, there's a few out-of-print, expensive steelbooks from like Germany and other places. But then supposedly there's a UMD, which was the PSP format movie. I found some information on a blog that might exist. I've never seen it. So I was like, maybe it's in Japan. That's kind of what all that blog was alluding to. But then also possibly at the end of the Betamax life in Japan, it also might have gotten a release. There was a few blog posts, and actually when it comes up of listed known titles, I have seen it in that list. So I'm not sure. I've never seen those items. They might be, urban legend type stuff, but they're on my radar. I'd like to grab them. And, if they really do exist, I would like to know that as well. But other than that, I don't want to spend my life going on a wild goose chase. But I also have a bunch of titles from all around the world. And so I want to share my entire collection with you, because it's one of the few things that gets asked about all the time. Like, how come I have so many copies of The Fifth Element and Leon the Professional? They're my two absolute favorite movies of all time, Leon the Professional being number one. And I mean, here in America, it was known as Leon the Professional, but all over the world, it's known as just simply Leon. And it really has become my all-time favorite movie from the very first time I ever saw it. I was probably like 11 or 12 or 13, in that range. Natalie Portman's like a year or two older than me. And, at the time when I saw it, I was probably the age of her in this film. So I connected with it really well. And then it's just been my favorite ever since. I absolutely love it. And so diving into this right here, we're going to do a little unboxing. And I had the unboxing station set up. So we're going to be able to open this up in front of you and then show off the entire collection here. So as we open this up, I'll be able to show this off. Oh yeah, this is awesome. So as we open this up, this is what it looks like on the front, and without the paper on the back, that's exactly what it looks like. Now this one was limited to only 1,000 editions, and so I have number 823, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. Now this image here, this was used, I don't remember this being used too much in poster art or on any of the movies themselves, but I have seen a couple lobby cards that uses this artwork, so it's one that we don't usually see that often. And then here is the back of this. And so, yeah, it just says limited edition to 1,000 pieces, and I mean, all of this is in French, but then there's a better view of what the contents are inside the box. But as we open this, and then yeah, taking that off, this did suffer a little bit of damage. It's got some mark on there. It did suffer a little bit of damage. The corners were kind of marred up the way it was shipped. Let's see. There's some like shipping damage on the corners, but like that's just black. That'll easily cover up. But again, like all the corners got kind of nicked because it was just shipped in this simple box here and no extra padding or anything. It was just inside this big giant protective box. So for the most part, it was protected. But anytime I get stuff like that, the corners do get really messed up. As I open this, okay. Oh my goodness. Right here we're greeted to this print. This is going to get framed up immediately. Oh, I absolutely love it. So this is from that steelbook that is included in here. I already have this steelbook, like I said. We do have the other side there. That is awesome. So I was like, it's just kind of unfortunate that it's double-sided. I don't know if there's like a piece that I can get that maybe I can put this in and have both sides show and have it in like a standee. But yeah, this is super awesome. Love the artwork. I love both of them. I think they're both great. So I might have to track down another one of these just to have both of them. But then this is the album right here. Oh, it's a gatefold album. Let's see. Oh, this is awesome. So there you go. There are the album titles there on both. There's two. I didn't realize there was two in here. Or maybe it's just the other side. Maybe that's what it is. Oh no, this seems like there's two in here. So you have this gatefold. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. So I like this. So I haven't seen this kind of artwork before. So it's pretty sharp. And then same thing on the back. This is what we've seen before. Them walking together, her Matilda carrying the plant. It's just, I think this is great. And then the vinyl is white, which is kind of cool. So the vinyl is white, which is just super awesome. It's like an ivory color. Absolutely love that. I'm not going to take it all the way out. So that's the one side there. Then you have Gary Oldman's character on the other side. And that is... Now I need a turntable because I have some albums. I just don't have a turntable. And I do collect soundtracks. So I have many soundtracks on CD, but not this one. And I'm starting to pick up quite the vinyl collection. So it's the same thing. Same ivory color on the album. But then that is the one side there. And then the other side. So this right here is also extremely, I don't know, I think this is really great. I think this entire thing is amazing. And this is just, I think this is just an overall great piece. Now here's the book, and I'm assuming, you know, the entire book is in French, but it's still cool enough. It was difficult to get out. There was no real way to get this out without almost spilling out the disc. Let's see. Oh, this is awesome because there's no words. Well, there's words in the back. But the majority of this book is artwork. So this is just super awesome. Images from the movie, stuff to pour over. They put a lot of thought into this, so I'm glad that they did, because there are collectors all around the world and not everybody's going to speak French. So this is super awesome, and I'm glad this is included. I'm glad I pulled the trigger on this one. Like, obviously I'm a collector and I'm trying to collect every single one of these, but this book is huge. It's the size of the album, so it is a huge book. Maybe it's a little bit smaller than the vinyl there, but this is a pretty thick book here. And as we dive into it, like, there's stuff I've never, you know, obviously I've seen the movie a million times. I've poured over a lot of the extra special features, but I haven't always seen a lot of the background images and, you know, just what's usually included on the discs. So to have some of this stuff now is just really, really awesome. So it definitely shows some of the stuff that I would like to track down. And yeah, just overall, I think this is just top notch. one of my favorite pieces now. And then, you know, luckily with the phone, I was like, this looks like just the script here, but with the phone, you could easily translate this. I'm glad they included all of it. This is just really, really cool. And then this, I've shown this off before because I already have this steelbook, but this is what was included. So this is the steelbook that was released in December, I believe. So I'm not sure if this entire thing was also released in December. So I imported mine from the UK, and so I already have this. Oh wow, I actually like this a lot. So the way this opens up is you have the discs here, but there's like a swinging like gate here that kind of snaps in place. So this here has 3 discs, and we've seen that, but many of the other companies, they put the discs in like a stacking kind of way. This, I've never seen this inside of a steelbook, and the fact that it kind of clips down, so now it's not banging around or moving around. It kind of clips in there very nicely. And then the artwork that's underneath, we've seen this before. There's actually a few discs that have this same artwork that I have in my collection, and I'm also trying to track down some steelbooks that have something similar. So this is just super, super awesome. And then as we flip that around, take this out, there's just the city piece there. But yeah, absolutely love this. There's actually 4 discs. I didn't even realize there's 4 discs. And this is just top notch, because the other version of this movie here that I have of this specific release, I don't think it had as many discs. So this is the same thing. So it's literally the same thing here. But when you open this up, it only has 3 discs, and they are stacked. So this one here, comparing the 2 releases, let's see if I can put this somewhere. Comparing the 2 releases, there seems like a lot more information. Clearly there's 4 discs. I like the artwork a little bit better on this version. So you have a little bit larger Matilda. Let's see. The UK version, it's definitely a little different. Similar artwork, similar style, but you have, you know, full-size Gary Oldman there, but then you have the partial, you know, bigger print of Gary Oldman. So I think I like that a little bit more on the French version. I'm not sure. I like having all the different versions. It definitely is kind of my favorite thing about this entire collection, is that every single one of them is going to be a little bit different. Getting every single version from around the world is becoming its own little hobby, and something that I enjoy collecting for. And then it's the exact same on the back there. So this is extremely awesome. And then I forget what it's called. Somebody told me, but the glasses, all the silver pieces, so her necklace, her glasses frames, his glasses frames, they all have this like amazing shine to it. And you might be able to see it in the light there as you catch it. That's the only part that really shines. All the rest of it is a matte. And somebody did tell me what it was called, but I forget. And yeah, this is just extremely awesome. So this is definitely one of my favorite pieces in the collection now. And the fact that it's super limited is a huge, huge bonus for me. But I'm going to get this framed up and figure that out. This is just super, super cool. So that's it. And the whole thing is very heavy with the book. So then, as I promised, to show off the rest of the collection, I'm going to still be able to dive into the unboxing station. I'm not going to unbox some of these because this one here specifically, I found it sealed. I never thought I would find something sealed. I do remember buying these types of movies and when BJ's used to sell them. And it is this first one I have here is the Professional. It's an American version of the Superbit DVD. And Superbit was a short-lived DVD format. I think just like the Wii U, people didn't understand that it was better. They just thought it was a gimmick, and when you dive into it, there was a standard for the surround sound. So most everybody that talks about Superbit talks about how the sound was just so much better, and there was a thing that they did that just made it a little bit sharper than a standard DVD. So this one here was, at the time, would be considered one of the definitive editions of the DVD, but I absolutely love it. And then here is that image that was shown on the back of the limited edition I just got that I said we don't really see it that often, but there it is again. And I haven't opened this one because in this BJ's packaging, it includes, you know, it's tied in with the movie. It's not just a standard BJ's package. This was the Professional. It's labeled on the side, and I feel that once I open it, it's just trash, and then the movie. But the way that this has been preserved, there's some, you know, embossed letters here, and normally when I find these, they're all smushed down over years of wear and tear and being tossed around. But because it's been protected in this package, the embossed letters are preserved to the point where I didn't realize this version had that because they've always been smashed down and that's all I've ever seen. So this also, the face of Leon is also a little bit embossed, which is just kind of cool. So this is another piece that I have in the collection. I'm trying to track down an open Superbit and see what it's all about because I still have the DVD player to use. And so this one right here, as we dive into it, just, you know, the entire thing right there is just really cool. So we have that one. I showed off the steelbook that was released in December. Now next I have this Korean Leon that I picked up from Nova Media. And now this one here, at the time when I got it, and to this day, it's probably still one of my favorite releases of the movie and probably one of my more favorite ways to watch it. So this here includes the 4K, but I love the motion menus that were included in this one. And when you open it up, you have just different artwork from the actual slipcase, which I just think is top notch. You have the different version here. And so that's what it looks like there. Just overall, really, really sharp. Love the artwork on the discs. And then it's in a stacking format, but it keeps the discs off of each other. And that's artwork we've seen before. But again, just one of my all-time favorites. But then, you know, some of the 4Ks, they're going to offer different things with different surround sound options. Some of them have Dolby Vision, some of them don't. And so there's a reason to watch certain versions. But this one here is so incredibly shiny, you know, to really get a display on it. Like this has a nice rainbow effect in the face, which is just, it's kind of hard to pick up here, but it's super, super cool. And then this is the back of it. So that's the Nova Media Korean edition. Next we have this very limited edition of Leon. I love that they used that for the front cover, and this was the back cover. So this was extremely limited in the fact that Sony put this out, and they called it their Supreme Cinema Series, and there's just only a handful of movies that were ever put out on it. I don't have them all, but I think there was only like 4 or 5 of them total. I have this one, The Fifth Element, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, and those easily make my top 5 favorite films of all time. So this is just, it was just a cool thing. You have this acrylic piece in the front, and it opens up like a book. So you have this, and I don't want to, it's just old, I don't want to open it up all the way, but it has artwork in here. So it has the different pages. We have this, and you know, some more artwork, some stuff we don't usually get to see, and then it has the disc. Now this was just a standard Blu-ray, but I'm pretty sure that it also includes the Atmos track on here. So it was definitely cool to have if you didn't have the 4K, or this probably was released before the 4K. But again, I think these are top notch, just really cool display pieces, and the fact that they were extremely limited, and there's not a ton of movies on this Supreme Cinema series. As we look into this, I'm not sure how much it has to give. I haven't really fully opened it up, and I'm afraid that the glue is old and it's going to start falling apart. But it is awesome. I like it, and it is in English, so I can read everything, no problem. But just it was just a cool thing that they did, and something that I really enjoyed. Next, we have this steelbook here, and I'll take this one out of the protective case. Now, I found this one; it was completely sealed, but it had under the seal, I think it had some little bit of wear and tear from being in the package and being tossed around. But as I got it, it's in mostly mint condition. It's like right here on the corners where it has like a little bit of wear. So I would, you know, honestly like to find a more mint condition one. I don't even know if the camera's going to pick that up. You can pick that up on the camera. But right there and right there, it might be hard to see. But there's just a little bit of wear and tear on it. But overall, I think this is just top notch. Again, you know, you had a really simple art on the inside, nothing special, no artwork. It's all red. It ties in with the disc, but it has this flyer and it shows Snatch and all these other ones. I remember those at the time, and Best Buy had a lot of these ones in this artwork series, and I ended up getting Snatch at one point. These were like, you know, on clearance always. I was always finding these on clearance, and then I do have this, you know, the Fifth Element steelbook there. I think that is absolutely top notch, but it shows off a bunch of the other ones. Desperado is another one. I had picked that up at the time. I think it was on clearance for $10. And so these were, at some point, these were cheaper to get these steelbooks than it was to get the original version. But when this came out, I wasn't a steelbook collector. I didn't understand it. Afraid of them getting damaged, and they clearly do. And so I do wish that I had picked this one up when it was new. So this one here, I like that they tie in the banner. Normally I hate the big ugly banners, but for some reason this one I kind of like it because it says Leon the Professional, a Luc Besson film. It doesn't say Blu-ray 4K Dolby digital code inside. Like, it doesn't say that stuff on the banner, so I think I gotta give it a pass. But again, I think it's pretty sharp, and being able to find this one for a decent price, I thought was just pretty much top notch. And I like the fact that they tie in that like cream color, the khaki, whatever this is, instead of it being red all the way around. So again, this is something, it kind of reminds me more of like a comic book style art than anything else. And so this is a version that I absolutely love having. Now next we have a couple of VHS tapes. Now the first one is my absolute favorite. So this is the one that I picked up from Japan, and actually I got it from Canada. So it's a Japanese VHS tape, and being Japanese, it works on the same system that America does. So this one here, it works in our players, but it has the Japanese subtitles at the bottom, and it is, you know, this version. I love this artwork. I've seen this poster a lot in Japan, so this might have been one of their main posters, but I've seen it on album covers, this VHS tape. I've seen the actual poster, and in Japan back in the day when they would print out ticket stubs, they would print off basically an image or a movie poster type ticket stub, and I think this might have been one of the ones I saw. You know, I've seen so many lately because I'm trying to get those as well. But this is something that I love it, and the fact that it wasn't in cardboard. It seems like over in Europe and, you know, definitely in Japan, I have seen a lot of these VHS tapes that I grew up with, but they came in the plastic clamshells that we only ever saw these. You know, this type of clamshell. Now you can get like the Disney ones, those big over, you know, giant puffy clamshells. You can get those, but regular standard releases, we always had a cardboard sleeve, you know, kind of cover that went over it. And the fact that I keep seeing these in pretty much every European release of a movie I'm trying to find, I just think it's overall sharp. It sits on the shelf well. It stores nicely. But this was the first time I ever saw a VHS tape that included art cards. So this one here, and well, this is technically, it's a postcard. So it included this, which was, I think, really sharp, because anytime I find this type of stuff, I like to frame it, especially if it works in one of my all-time favorite movies like Leon. So this is something that, for now, I've kept it inside the VHS, but I will be framing these with some kind of note on the back of where it came from. So yeah, this is one of my all-time favorites. And then it had some like registration stuff in Japan that are Japanese that I don't know. And then this one here. So it includes this booklet, and then it has like all this Japanese lettering, but it has images from the movie. And to get a VHS with, that kind of level of information, I don't remember anything like that, even special editions that we got here in America that included stuff like this. So I'll put that back. So yeah, this is something that I enjoy having, and the fact that I've actually watched this version of the movie is really awesome. And I didn't really even mind having the Japanese subtitles on it. It's a movie I've seen a million times, so it really just didn't bother me at all. And I thought it was fun. Definitely thought it was a fun way to watch it. But as we go in, now the tape itself is a little bit different. So the tape, it says Victor on it because it's the Victor Corporation that put this out. And so that's the front cover here, and then this is the spine. So this is just, again, it's really sharp. I like this, and it says Leon Integral version. So this seems like the uncut version of this movie. And then we have the German version. So this German version of the film is, again, I've seen this artwork looking for the movie posters. I think it's sharp. And again, it comes in a clamshell case. So now this one here, I think is just overall, I think it's really sharp. I like it. I like the fact that it's in a clamshell. But as I open it up, I can't play it because I don't have a PAL VCR. And so that's the version that they use over in Europe is PAL. We use NTSC, so does Japan. And it has the Leon here, and it says Starlight Video. There's nothing here, which I don't know if it just fell off or they didn't have it. But older tapes, a lot of times of how it was stored, the glue kind of sometimes falls off. And so maybe it included it before, but it doesn't now. It's pretty solid. But as I kind of look into it a little bit more, this is a double sticker, and you're probably not going to be able to see it, but right about there, I can see through the other sticker, and it doesn't look like it says Leon underneath. So I don't know if this was another tape and somebody slapped Leon over the top of it, or I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but I do know that I paid $5 for this, and it showed up, and it came from Germany, and so I have it. I'm just not sure if the actual contents inside the tape are the movie that I love. I would have to still track down a PAL VCR for that. But other than that, I think it's top notch. And again, to collect every single version of the movie that I love, I think that's fun. I think it's part of the hobby that I'm really enjoying. Then I came across this version. Now, this is a Japanese DVD, but it comes in a small CD package. Now, there were such things as VCDs, and they weren't as good of a quality as a DVD, and many consider a VCD basically DVD before DVD was a thing. So the quality on a VCD is never going to be the same, but this one says DVD all over it. It's just in this small format, and picking this up from Japan, I thought was just something that we don't really see anything over here like this, and so I had to grab it. I saw it, and I just wasn't going to leave it because I was afraid I was never going to see this again. But it has the DVD stamp right there, and the jewel case has rounded edges, and everything here. It says DVD video, Leon, and this is another one. It plays just fine. Again, the DVD DVD stamp right there. So this was a format, even though I'm not super familiar with it, this format size, it was well thought out. Everything is not an afterthought where they're just using CD jewel cases and throwing DVDs in there. This has all the DVD stamping on it. So it seems like it was more common over there. I just, like I said, this is the first time I came across it, and I had to grab it. And again, this one here includes, as you open up the page, all the Japanese lettering. But again, images from the movie that we've seen before a million times. And again, I think it's just cool to have all this stuff. Now, this is what I don't know. So you have this registration card, which we saw a lot of this stuff back in the late 90s, early 2000s on any of the stuff I was getting. I was seeing that anyway. But this one here, it has some perforated edges. It doesn't seem like it's a sticker. So I don't know if this was like their proof of purchase. And again, it has the 3,800 yen on here. So I'm not sure if that was the barcode or that was the tag or what this was, but it has the perforated edges. So I'm just assuming that this is their proof of purchase because there's no barcode on the back. So maybe this was, supposed to sit here like this and fold over. Oh, that's how that sat. So that sat like this. It has the barcode there. That makes sense. So it is the proof of purchase, but the way it was flattened out, I didn't realize that it was probably originally part of the outside. Got it. That makes sense. And also from Japan, I have this version. Now there's another version of this exact same release, but with different box art, and I want to track that one down as well, because this one, as beautiful as it uses this special matte on the all the black here, and if you see closely, you can see the fingerprints just from touching it, but it is sharp. And so I would probably track down another one of these and just leave it in the plastic just to have that version. But I like it. The green, I think, just pops. It's definitely different, something we've never seen before. But this one comes out of TC Entertainment in Japan. So I don't know, I'm not very familiar with them as far as a label goes. I don't know if they're a boutique label or if it's something standard. I've seen quite a few of the TC Entertainment releases in Japan, but I think this is cool because this is artwork that I've never seen before. And so you have the two different versions of the movie. You have the regular American version and then the uncut integral version that they call it. So you have both versions of the movie. The backs are identical. So you have the backs completely the same, but then the different movies in here. And the fact that it includes the 4K and the Blu-ray for both versions in each case, I think is sharp. And then it went with these pastel colors, which again is something that, just it's different. We get the same stuff a lot of times when we release this or we see similar artwork here. So this one here, again, I think is just something different and different enough that it's very enjoyable. And I can't remember specifically if this one had Dolby Vision or not, but I thought that the version of this, when I watched it was pretty, incredible. I enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the more top-notch ones, so probably does include Dolby Vision. I just don't recall. And then this one here includes, different artwork, different pastels. Absolutely gorgeous, I think. And so TC Entertainment is another one I think is just absolutely top notch. And being Japanese, it's an American movie. So there's the English language. You just turn off the Japanese subtitles and you are good to go. And this one, this includes it says for sale only in Japan. And the Blu-ray discs, because these are Japanese, they're going to play in American players no matter what. So these are, I don't know if they're region locked to region A. I never checked. 4Ks obviously are region free. The Blu-rays might be region locked. I'm not really sure. But as an American and the fact that they're region A, it doesn't matter to me. But again, I absolutely love the artwork there. And then this one includes, again, more stuff. You didn't have a lot as compared to some of the other ones. So it included 3 art cards, and then this was the back. So this was the original J card that it came with. It's extremely thin compared to some of the ones we get here in America, but it includes the J card. I kept it. It fits nicely inside the box. But then this, you have 3 art cards, and these are also extremely thin, but if you're going to frame them up, who cares? So these 3 art cards, nothing spectacular, but again, if you don't have this, you love the movie, these are easy to frame up, and the way they do it, just like what we've seen with the VHS tapes, is they're postcards. So you can use these to send letters to. I'm not sure if postcard collecting is a thing over there or if it's just something that they do. I haven't seen anybody send a postcard since the 90s. That was like the last time I got a postcard, or I knew somebody who got a postcard. So that's just, again, for me, easy to frame these up as we get this. So we have this other booklet here. And as we talk about it, I think the artwork is beautiful, but every single page is in Japanese. So in order to read this, I'll have to use the phone to translate it. I'm not sure if it's even worth it, but overall, again, I like the artwork on there. The release itself is top-notch. Like I said, there is another version of this movie, exact same release, but it has a different box. And so I'd like to try to track that one down as well. Because like I said, even though they're going to be the same discs inside and the same disc artwork, I'm trying to track down every version of this film, and I gotta get it. Now we have just the simple American VHS. This was called The Professional when released here, so I didn't know it was any other name. The whole, Leon, and then Leon the Professional, and then in Europe it's just called Leon. I wasn't familiar with it when I first saw this film. This is pretty much how I first saw it. It was on TV, probably, like I said, I was like 10, 11, 12, in that range. That's when I saw it, and then later on when I rented it from the video rental store, this is the only version I had. So this is what I knew. And so the whole idea that it was called a bunch of different things, there was different cuts of the movie, as soon as I found that out, I was trying to track all that stuff down. And so this is how the collection kind of grew. But big fan, love this one. And this is the version that, I kind of grew up watching. And then you have Matilda in his glasses. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on the camera, but again, it's just a little bit of detail, not bad. Typical VHS from America. And this is the version that I picked up on 4K first. It's okay. It works. I think it's great. But some of these other versions that include Dolby Vision, and especially the Japanese and the Korean releases, they're definitely my favorites. I've been watching the UK version lately as well. And so this one here, I think the artwork is okay, but it includes Leon the Professional, as this was released in America. And not bad. Again, artwork that we've seen before on the back. But this is just a very simple disc. But the quality of the plastic that they use, the Sony released this here in the US, it does have a lot of off-gassing. And so in order to play this, I always have to clean this version off, or it will not work in any of my players at first. And so I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. No, you're not going to be able to see that. So here, I don't know if you can catch out how dirty it is. But this like off-gassing is this like weird residue. It leaves it on the disc, and then I have to clean this version off every single time. Not a big deal, but the plastic on here is pretty cheap. I should probably just replace this with a better plastic. But yeah, it's not the version I go to that often. There's no motion menus. There's nothing really special about this version of it, other than it's a movie that you're used to watching. It was fairly cheap. I think this was the cheapest version that I've picked up on 4K. So it's worth watching, but I think the Dolby Vision ones are just a little bit better. And then here I have 2 different versions of the DVD. And so this one here is The Professional, Luc Besson film, and then this one is Léon the Professional. And so this one includes 24 minutes of additional footage. So this was the uncut international version, and this was the standard DVD that we got here in America. So standard DVD, and then the uncut international version. These are the DVDs that were released here in the US. And again, you have just, different artwork showing that it's different. And, you know, I always watch the uncut version now. I haven't watched this original version in a very long time. I haven't even revisited these DVDs in quite a while. I think that the last time I went on vacation, I did take this one. Let's see. And then this is the interior card that it came with. And next we have the Manta Lab one-click box. Now this was limited to 600 copies in the entire world, and if you want to check out that video, I did the unboxing. I'll link that at the end. But this is something that, this was a holy grail. I pulled the trigger on it out of fear that I would never be able to afford it, even though this I thought was extremely expensive, and I was a little nuts for doing it. I had a little bit of buyer's remorse and, the whole gamut of emotions with buying this film. But there's 3 steelbooks inside this protected box. And like I said, there's only 600. I got number 186, and I'll just show these off here to make them a little bit safer as I open these up. So as I open these up here, all of them have the exact same steelbook. So this one here is the lenticular, and there's 2 lenticulars and then just a regular standard slipcover. I think this is sharp. And then Gary Oldman on the back, the double-sided lenticular, I think is just, and it has this amazing 3D effect. Now I've seen 3D lenticulars before, but I don't know, for some reason, I don't know if I'm biased from the film or the fact that it really is awesome. I think this is just extremely sharp. And then it includes, a booklet for the information in the movie, but then you have this steelbook. And again, I think it's definitely one of my favorites. I'd like to track down another copy of this just so I can put it on display instead of keeping it safe in the box. And every single version that's in here has the exact same steelbook, but you have all the extras, the art cards, all the tchotchkes, all the stuff that it comes with. Every one of them has the 2 discs, the 4K, the Blu-ray. But then that's the interior artwork on those. And again, I've showed off everything in super detail. Check out that video. And then here is the other lenticular for that one. Again, it has Leon in front of the city there. And it's all right. I think it moves a little bit more than the other ones does. So it's not my favorite. But then on the back here, you're probably not going to be able to tell very well. But there's debossing. So in Matilda's hair, and it seems like just Matilda's hair. That's about it. Yeah, just there's some little bit of debossing in the back there. Again, same exact steelbook. And then this was the slip cover. So just a standard slip. It's got some shine to it, really sharp. Again, does this one have debossing? Yeah, this one has a little bit of, some kind of embossing or debossing in there. Just a very tiny bit, like in the hairline, just in the jawline, just to give it more of a, not really a 3D effect, but just a little bit more depth. And again, that's the back of it. So this is something that, again, I have the Fifth Element Manta Lab. That's coming. I was able to secure one of those, so I'm super excited about that. But Manta Labs as a whole, they're very rare. They're very limited. They sell out almost immediately as soon as they release it. So they're hard to get. And so the fact that I have this one, I didn't get initially, and I did pay a little bit extra for it. But the Fifth Element one that's coming, I did secure one at a solid price. So I'm really glad that that's coming. It's just, I think it was finally released, but now they got to ship them all out to everybody. Let me know what you think of my collection down below. If you want to see the Manta Lab unboxing, check out this video right here. Remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.